T14. The Oklahoma Sooners, as we mentioned at the top of the show, have won 4 NCAA championships in the last 8 years. They've had several undefeated seasons and were in the hunt last year, but just edged out by Michigan for the NCAA title. They are the 4 championships, 12 NCAA regional championships, and 17 Big 12 conference championships. KJ Kindler, look at her record at home. I don't think there's many coaches in the country in any sport, probably none, who can boast 122-4 home record, 61 straight wins since 2014. And what a team she has put together this year. And one of the stars she brought into the program is the freshman star Jordan Bowers. And she's part of this future generation for the Sooners. And when we come back, Sam talked with her.
OU team, what's that like for you?
It's amazing. It's a dream come true. I've always wanted to come here and be part of the legacy, and the culture here is amazing, and I'm so excited to be part of it finally.
You've accomplished a lot in just a few meets already. So what would a successful season look like for you?
Just building my momentum as individually and as a team the rest of the season, and really just learning how to work together more, and having it all come together in April will be the end goal.
Is there a moment that you recognize as one of your favorites so far this season?
After the first home meet, that was my first collegiate meet, and after finishing all around that night, that was definitely a night to remember. My dreams came true, and finally a Sooner.
There is Jordan Bowers getting ready for the bars, where she's spectacular. Look at her average. Kathy, what is it that you like about this young gymnast? She's showing a great deal of maturity already.
Well, I was just watching her in final touch warm-up, and all I could think was reckless abandon. So she swung those bars with just no fear, very aggressive, hitting the nice shapes in the air, big amplitude. And if she can just dial that in, even under pressure, that's just money.
The Sooners replacing a quarter of their routines from last year's championship lineup, and so Jordan Bowers fitting an important role as we go to Denver on the vault in this rotation, the second rotation. After all the scores are in, these two teams are dead tied after rotation 1 with a 49-3-2-5. Now the Sooners didn't get any stuck vaults. Let's see if Ruiz and her teammates at Denver can get some.
This is a full twisting Yurchenko. You can see the hop on the landing, and it didn't quite have the amplitude that the judges actually just saw from Oklahoma. You really want to see those vaults rise up off the table. If their eyes don't go up toward the ceiling, that means it was a little bit flat, but very clean. That's the good point. You're not giving away those tenths of a point.
Danielle Sievers will lead off the Sooners on the bars. The OU Sooners are, by the way, ranked second in the country on this event. They can be superb here. Here's one of our first looks at Danielle Sievers.
Many of the gymnasts we're seeing on bars do this combination. Maloney, right back down to the low bar to a pack salto. Very nice amplitude on that. We're going to see that half pirouette on low bar a lot. I'm really looking for it to be on top of the bar. Like that handstand right there. The final one of the routine, half in, half out. Oh. Step on the landing. Those are the little tenths of a point that you really don't like to see them give up. She was slightly under-rotated, though. This is the Maloney. Now watch. See if she can keep those feet totally together in the pack salto. They come ever so slightly apart. That's a minor flaw. That step, that's the more sizable deduction.
3 times she's been in the bar lineup. She's getting a few notes from Tom Haley, part of that OU coaching staff, along with KJ Kindler and her husband, Lou Ball. Mia Sundstrom now for Denver.
A high full twisting Yurchenko. Getting a little bit of hop on that landing. The judges really look for a good balance, too, between the height and the distance. Notice she tried to flare out at the end of the full. That shows really excellent technique and polished form.
She's coming after her teammate Alexandra Ruiz, scored a 9.775. Sundstrom herself a career-high 9.9 there. Pat Lavasser now coming after Danielle Sievers, a career high 9.9 on bars to lead off OU.
Watch the attention to detail on this routine. And big height. I'd like to see a little more rotation, counter rotation on that Tkachuk, but love the straight legs just glued together. Really emphasizes that handstand, shows it off impeccably.
Oh,
And
wow.
a perfect landing.
Finally a
There's the
soft
second.
landing. I was wondering when they were going to get one. That's impressive. The sophomore from San Antonio.
I just love the details of this routine, just the picture-perfect form.
Bar dismounts at Arizona, so a big focus this week was sticking at least one dismount. I saw a bunch in warm-up, so it's good to see that they're showing up in the meet.
Stick just one. I mean, that doesn't sound like KJ Kindler. Okay, here we go back now. Jessica Hutchinson.
That was a really well executed full twisting Yurchenko. Good height, good distance. I like the block. She hit a really nice position onto the table to take advantage of using the speed, the power. Showed off good technique.
Mia Sundstrom before her had their second straight 9.775. So Denver yet to break into the 9.8s or better on ball.
Battle with Carrie Thomas. She is back and ready to get back into this competition, and they were battling it out in warm-ups. And really, they didn't know who was going to go in until the touch warm-up. Danae got a 9.9 on bars last weekend, so she's getting the opportunity again here today.
I think it's interesting. KJ Kindler told us this week, the spots in the lineup belong to Oklahoma. You don't own it as an individual unless you earn it. And she's really has the guts to go with the athlete who's hottest right before the meet starts.
And most of the coaches now are operating that way. They're giving us lineups of 8 people. They're going to warm up 8 people, and they can make that last-minute adjustment based on how they warm up. So we're talking the elevation of NCAA gymnastics. Part of it is the competition within the team. They push each other to earn those spots in the lineup, and that creates the pressure situations you need that you can't replicate usually in a gym without that. So now they're like battle tested and ready to handle the pressure of competition.
Of course, it's a luxury to have such depth that you can have that many athletes to choose from. Here is Fletcher. We saw her earlier on the ball.
Toe handstand, right into the Tkachuk. Oh, I like the form. Leg stayed straight, toes stayed pointed. Into the pack salto, slightly rushed on that skill. There's a good handstand pirouette. Stayed in that vertical, more than most. Maybe a touch short on the final handstand. Half in, half out, a little close to that high bar. I kind of jumped out of my seat a little bit.
Tomorrow on Big Monday, there's another great basketball doubleheader. Paulo Banchero and number 9 Duke take on Notre Dame at 7 Eastern. And it's a Big 12 battle between West Virginia and number 4 Baylor. Both games are right here on ESPN and the ESPN app. Emily Glynn will be next up for Denver. They finally broke through the 9.8. Jessica Hutchinson, a season-high 9.85 for her excellent work on the ball. Let's see what Glynn can do.
This is a different vault. It's a Sukahara with a full twist in laid out position. Such a difficult vault. She landed with her chest a little low. The judges can probably see it more from the side, but watch, it's a traditional entry vault. It's a little low. Her head was below the level of the table when she finished. But I love seeing this vault. I'm so glad she's performing it.
I agree, and it's not often appreciated by the judges because it doesn't necessarily fly as high and as far as the Yurchenko style vault, but it's likely harder, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Right. Reagan Smith, now for the Sooners.
Watch her opening combination. It is huge amplitude. Big Ray right here, right in. Sometimes she goes right into the pack. She's going to cast, do a toe hand, now to a sky-high pack salto. There you go. Finish that pirouette on top of the bar with control. Beautiful job on that final handstand. Double layout. Oh, I like that she wasn't piping down as much as she usually does, but you need to get those legs and hips up a little bit more to sustain that laid out position all the way around. This is the Ray. And this dismount has gotten better through the years and not quite enough rotation to get the stick.
Reagan Smith coming after Oklahoma's Danae Fletcher had a 9.825 back to vault now. Second 9.85 in a row for Denver. That was for Emily Glynn. Here is Riley Mundell.
With a 1.5 twist, 10-0 start value. Big vault, and a big squat on the landing. Nice strong legs to keep that landing, but a little deep for no deduction.
Twice this year she scored 9.925 on that vault, the sophomore from Parker, Colorado. Jordan Bowers now for the Sooners. This can be an outstanding event for her. Coming after Reagan Smith had a 9.875.
Watch this, Ray. Big amplitude, great counter rotation. That is superb. And this is what I mean by reckless abandon. She just swings so big, so freely, and clean. This is superb. She milked that last handstand, really finessed it. Half in, half out. Oh, just a little shuffle with those feet.
Well, she has hit the ground running when she came to Oklahoma. There was big question marks whether they were going to be able to have anybody who could replace Anastasia Webb, and KJ Kindler said, wait till you see this young Jordan Bowers. She has the potential.
That is as big as it gets. So well done, both the height and the counter rotation. Nice job on that pack salto. Everything is just big.
Already 3 times in the all-around for the Sooners, and she's in the all-around today, had a 9.875 on the vault. All right, here is the final vaulter for Denver, coming after Riley Mundell's 9.825. Here is Lindsey Brown.
And it could be big and beautiful.
Oh.
There it is. And a great, great landing. Big, beautiful vault. Well-controlled landing. That is the way to punctuate this vault rotation. Check the height out. Excellent. Opens those arms out at the end of the 1.5 twist. She's got a tiny bit of soft feet and knees, but we're seeing it in replay over and over. The judges have to, in that split second, try to see everything.
Twice she has scored 9.975 in her career on that event. All right, Jordan Bowers, another 9.875 for the Sooners. Here is Audrey Davis, their final performance.
And consider yourself lucky to see this routine. It is just spectacular from the level of difficulty, the unique difficulty, the execution, the amplitude. Look at the handstand pirouette on low bar. Everything is just so precise and pretty. Love that Higgins roll. Now check this dismount out. Double front, half twist.
Oh, wow.
That is
huge.
Unreal. I will stand up for that. I will stand up for that because that was an excellent routine.
She hasn't scored below 9.9 in all 3 meets. That was brilliant.
And I have to say, because we've seen some 10s given that I was like, can I pick it apart? Well, that's my job. I always do that. But that was just so head and shoulders above.
And back over on vault, the score came in for Lindsey Brown. It was another 9.975, tying her career high. Yeah, that bar routine had everything. It had elegance, it had difficulty, it had perfect execution.
Yeah.
Magnificent.
So I will tell you the one thing that they are possibly deducting for, and I see it looks like one judge gave her a 10, one gave her a 9.95. It looks like on her dismount, if she could keep those knees perfectly together and feet totally point throughout a very complex and hard to do dismount for form-wise, then it'd be absolute perfection.
Let's go down to Sam.
Thanks, Bart. I'm with head coach of Denver, Melissa Kutcher Reinhardt. Melissa, it looked like the meet started off a little slow for you guys, and then Lindsay scored a 9.975. What do you think of the meet so far?
I think it's going great. I think we need to stay calm and steady, one event at a time, one person at a time, and stay within our own bubble.
You mentioned that you're not going to focus on scoring a 198. So what would make this meet a success for you guys?
Continued improvement from competition after competition. I want to see them own the energy, focus on the details.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
All right, we have a close one here. The Sooners have a lead of .275, just under 0.3 of a point as we finish the halfway point in this competition. Don't go away. Great gymnastics today here from Norman, Oklahoma.